Thank you everyone for coming in. This is an attempt to make use of the lockdown at home so that we can learn something. So today's topic is what is Office 365. This is going to be a very short 15-minute session. The recording will be available later. I'm assuming most of you already know me, but for those who don't know, this is the quick introduction. I'm not going to read it out. You can see it later. What is important is all of us use Office every day, but what do we do about it? Every day we do some kind of work. There is some input and there is some output. So what do we want? When we want to improve efficiency, probably we want to reduce the effort and get the same input. Other option is to keep the effort same but get better output, or best of both worlds, less effort and more output. If I ask you, what do you want? Obviously, everyone is going to choose number 4. But typically, at least when it comes to using Office is concerned, we are at less output with more effort. And that gap between 1 and 4 is what Office is designed to help us do. With less effort, we can achieve more. Before we go into Office, I know you may be from different fields, different roles, different industries. So I'm going to take the least common denominator of the kind of work we do. All of us create some files, all of us store files somewhere, and so on. Some of this work happens on our own. Some of the work requires us to work with others, which we call as teamwork. Now for each of these components, Microsoft created a set of products. All these products, when you put together as a package, it's called Office 365. But this is looking like a scattered collection of products. Let's put it in perspective. What I'm saying is all the needs which we talked about are actually satisfied by using the right tool in the right place. So in this session, we are just going to get a very quick overview of all these products one by one. I'm assuming Word, Excel, PowerPoint is something you use. Which version that we will see later, but I'm not going to go into details of those. Let's talk about OneNote. Some of you may be using OneNote, some of you may not be. It is a part of Office. Most probably you already have it. OneNote is just an electronic notebook. So you create a notebook, you create sections or topics, and in each topic you can have any number of pages. That's all there is to it. If you are a part of multiple projects, you create multiple notebooks like that. If you want notes to be taken in OneNote, you can do that. It also has a very nice feature of OCR, so you can print a PDF file to OneNote and it'll actually recognize and allow that text to be searchable. The most important part I feel is you can link meetings to notes. We will see that in detail when we cover OneNote later on after a few days. It also allows you to do many other things, but as of now, any type of note taking is best done using OneNote. Of course, there are many tools which do note taking, but OneNote is not working in isolation. All these products are designed to work with each other, and that's the whole point. Individual products, if you take, there are so many other tools which can do that part, but nothing is designed with all the components being working together in mind. Now, another nice little product which is commonly not known is called Sway. I'm not going to go into details, but what does it do? It allows you to create simple web pages. It allows you to create simple web pages which are responsive without you knowing any HTML scripting or programming. So what happens? We have just to add the content. So you go to Sway, put a heading, put some images, put the text which you want. Different types of content can be either directly added, copy pasted or imported, and then it creates a web page. When you finish creating the web page, it's already published. You click on the share button, share the link with people, and that's it. Very easy. No need for IT or programmer to be involved. In fact, if you have a Word document, it is also possible to convert Word document to a Sway page instantly from Word itself. So thank you everyone for coming in. This is an attempt to. So now what is happening? Next tool is Forms. It's like Google Forms or SurveyMonkey. You can create surveys, capture feedback, do polls, and also multiple choice kind of quiz. How do you do that? You create a form. Different types of questions can be added. There is conditional logic as well if you want it. Once the form is ready, you can just share it either as a link by email, post it on your web page, send it by social media, or you can just put a QR code and print it and put it in some mailer. Finally, when people can fill the form either on desktop, browser, or mobile. While the form is being filled, you don't have to wait for the survey to be complete. You can manage this at any point of time and you get live results. If you want, you can export to Excel as well. Now, OneDrive is a very important product for us to understand because most of us tend to store files on local drive, which is a bad idea because local drive can get corrupted. We don't have backups. And if your machine is off, you don't have access to your files. So by keeping files on OneDrive, first of all, you get 1 terabyte of space. And in addition, you get these 12 benefits. Of course, right now we don't have time to go through all the benefits, but we will have a dedicated session for OneDrive very soon. The most important part of OneDrive is its automatic backup and restore, and you can work offline as well as across all devices. That's the whole idea. Having done that, now work means tasks. So where do we keep tasks? So if it is your own tasks, ideally we should keep it in Outlook. But if it is shared tasks or a project plan, then Planner is a better place to keep it. Planner is available as a mobile app and you create a plan there. Typically, you put it as a part of a Teams project. Once you create a plan and add people, you can add tasks, add people. So you decide what is to be done, when it is to be done, and who will do it. Everyone can see it and update the progress. No CCs, no attachments, no Excel files. All this can be done on desktop as well as mobile. At any point, you can see an instant Kanban board by going and saying, show me by status not started, in progress, and completed. So that's another nice feature which may even eliminate unwanted review meetings. Now, Outlook tasks are typically your own tasks, not shared tasks. Those are visible on To-Do app. In fact, inside the To-Do app, you can see your tasks as well as tasks which are in Planner and the tasks which are assigned to you across all projects. So you must explore the To-Do app that is becoming a single place to manage all kinds of tasks. Now going further, we are going to discuss Outlook later. I'm not going to go into details today, but Teams is something which you can use to eliminate what we used to do using email. Email or Outlook is good for ad hoc communication, but when there is communication related to specific project, Teams is better. In fact, Teams actually replaces 6 of these different products. It's a single product which does all of these beautifully. In fact, in today's work of lockdown and remote working, Teams is the absolute go-to product to do all of these things, sitting either on a desktop, on a browser, or on a mobile. These are the benefits of using Teams because we are eliminating hundreds of mails which we generally send to update each other about project progress. We don't need to do that any longer. Everything happens on Teams. Teams is also good for ad hoc work for secure corporate chat. Many of us use WhatsApp, Zoom, WeChat, those kind of things. Those are designed for personal use. For corporate use, you need something which is high level of security, e-discoverability and governance, which is what Teams is all about. communication across the company. What does that mean? When I have something to do in the company, I have a question to ask, but I don't know whom to ask. Put it on Yammer, someone will answer. I have an idea, I just need inputs, feedback, put it on Yammer. I have a draft policy, I need people to look at it, debate it out, object to it, discuss it. I can't send a mail to everyone, so put it on Yammer. Similarly, for praising people if they do something good, Yammer is a good place. We will have a dedicated session on that as well. Now, Excel is something we all use, but Power BI is another tool which is very nice, which allows you to import data and a very, very sophisticated level of cleanup without programming or without manual work. The cleanup part of Power BI is also available as a part of Excel, so you must explore Power BI. It allows you to create interactive dashboards and share them. Data can still come from a CSV, text file, database, SAP, it doesn't matter. There are 150 different data sources, but then you unify them, bring them together and create dashboards and share them. So that's about Power BI. Finally, there are two tools which are used for automation. What does automation mean? For example, I'm conducting a survey. As soon as the survey is submitted by a customer, I want to see customer gave good feedback or bad feedback. If the feedback is bad, I want a mail to go immediately. I don't want to do that manually every time someone does it. There will be a delay. I want to automate it. That kind of thing is done by Power Automate. So how does it work? It works on trigger. In this case, a form being filled is the trigger. And then you say, if the form has that content, do this action, otherwise that action, like that. So it's just a combination of triggers and actions. There are different types of flows available, including approvals, which can be very useful for workflow automation without programming. This is how typical flow looks. Now it's called Power Automate. This is the trigger. So when a form is submitted, look at the response. If the question, which is how was a score, is less than 3, then send a mail. And of course, you can specify what to send in the mail. So that is a way Power Automate allows you to automate work. And finally, Power Apps, which is a very fast zero programming method of creating forms. You can create very nice looking forms without programming by having some data even in Excel or in SharePoint, and those forms automatically render on mobile. No programming, no compilation, no technical knowledge required. So that in a nutshell is what is Office 365. Now going one step further, all these, where are they available? So let's see. We can have all of them available on browser. I don't have time to show you a browser demo, but important to note that if you have Office 365, Word, Excel, PowerPoint can also be edited on browser. In fact, if you have older versions of Office, some of the features like Excel ideas, design ideas in PowerPoint, presentation coach, which are really artificial intelligence based amazing tools, may not be available on your desktop because your Office version is old. But if you open the same Word, Excel, PowerPoint file on browser, you will get access to those amazing new tools. Now, all of these products except for Sway and Forms are available on mobile as well. On mobile, these are different apps available on Play Store as well as on iPhone. In fact, instead of separate products for Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Microsoft recently launched a combined tool called Office, which allows you to have a single tool which has capability of Word, Excel, PowerPoint. And in each of them, there are some really nice features. For example, you can actually take a photograph of something which is a table on a page or from a screen as well, or from a hoarding and convert it to an Excel sheet. Similarly, you can convert images to text, put them in Word, sign a PDF, create a PPT from pictures, all kinds of things. And of course, the mobile apps Word, Excel, PowerPoint are also available as a part of the same tool. So now we so many tools, what happens is when you get to know about them, you may get confused as to which tool to use when. So here is a simple chart. We will again discuss when we discuss Teams later. But just to give you an idea about why so many tools, because each one is designed for a particular purpose. So put them in a perspective. Ad hoc work, not urgent, send mail. If it is urgent, of course, it's official work. So don't use personal chat, use Teams chat. Project specific work happens in Teams. Project tasks, which are shared task lists, go in Planner, which again sits inside Teams. Across company informal discussions, open-ended ideation happens in Yammer. And if you really have complex projects with linked tasks, then of course you need a project management tool, which is Microsoft Project. So that's all we have time for in this session. The schedule for next 14 days is as follows. Of course, on every day on LinkedIn as well as my blog, I will post the correct link. Now, what about the recording for this session? That will be available using the same link which you are currently using. Just a quick glance at what we are going to discuss tomorrow. There are different versions of Office. There is a personal, student, business, enterprise, and within that there are so many complexities. So which tool, which product do you need? That is a confusing thing. Even corporates get confused here. So that is what we are going to discuss tomorrow. So that's all for now. Thank you. You can follow the schedule. Best place is LinkedIn. Just add me to LinkedIn and follow my posts. You will get to know everything. If you want to send feedback, just post it on LinkedIn or send me a message on LinkedIn, or you can send me a mail on this ID. You can also follow my blog. So I will end the session now and then let me look at if there are any questions. If you have asked questions, of course, I will handle all questions and only then we will finish this session. Thank you. Thank you for attending. So let me have a look at the Q&A. So we have 3 questions. So one is about Vikram. Hi Vikram, how are you, man? Is recording going to be available? Yes, of course, the same link you use. And I hope I'll be able to edit some part of it so it'll be more crisp. Any other questions? Anindo, you can unmute yourself. Anything you want me to cover or you want to add?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Okay, there is a new question. Thanks, Manish. What state of Visio is a separate tool, so I don't plan to cover it in this series of 15, but if you want, I can always do a 16th session as well. Visio is a separate product. There is an online version as well now. I'll wait for a minute more in case any of you have questions. Otherwise, we'll call it a day. Oh, what kind of bandwidth is needed for running Office on browser? That's a good question. In fact, you'll be surprised that if you open a large Word, Excel or PowerPoint file on browser, it'll open much faster. The reason being, if you open it on a desktop tool, it has to download the file locally. Whereas when you open it on browser, what is happening is whether it is from OneDrive, SharePoint or Teams, there is something called Office Web App sitting on the server side, which is capable of taking your Word, Excel, PowerPoint and convert it to web pages, which are extremely lightweight. So when do you use browser? General conception is if you don't have the full copy of Word, Excel, PowerPoint, then you use browser. That may be true, but that's not the correct way of choosing when to use browser. Even if you have local version of desktop version of Word, Excel and PowerPoint, you should use browser if you want to do quick editing. For example, if I have a 100-page Word document and I only want to change one paragraph, if it's infinitely faster to do it using browser. Another use case is someone has shared a report in Excel with me, which is a pivot table, some charts, slices. It's a large Excel file. I don't want to open that Excel file. I just want to interact with the pivot table. And of course, in case of PowerPoint, if I'm running a presentation and the bandwidth is a constraint, I would strongly suggest you do it on browser. Most of the features, except for very few animations, are not available on browser. In fact, on browser, you get a special thing called Presentation Coach, using which you can rehearse your presentation beforehand, and it will tell you what mistakes you did, where you're speaking loud enough, where you're repeating items, and many other nice public speaking related ideas. So try browser if you have not tried. It's good. Of course, it doesn't have all the features of desktop. If that is the requirement, then you need the desktop tool. A long answer, yes. All right, any more questions, Arindo? Time will be the same for all future sessions, 7 p.m. India time, 1:30 p.m. GMT. Is there some minimum mobile version needed? I think most of the current mobile apps versions are supported in terms of OS. So version -2 of Android and iOS, I think is supported. I don't know the exact versions. Just go to Play Store, it will tell you. Thanks, Sunil. So if you like this, please share it with your colleagues and hope to have a much larger audience tomorrow. Anything I have not answered, Anindo?
No, all covered as far as I can see.
Great. So thanks, Anindo, Shesham and Zeus for being part of this. By the way, this was done using Teams live event. If you have not tried it, please try it. It's